Hey guys, and welcome to this special little video today. I am at last tackling DeFi, and I know that's something that a lot of you guys have been very much into. Just about everybody in the crypto space has all been about DeFi recently. And today we're going to be looking at how I believe that most people are kind of like looking at DeFi, and then also looking at the reality of how much money you can actually really make with DeFi. And this is what it's all about right here. This is harvest.finance, and what we can see the deposits here. So we got like $228 million dollars being put into here right now, and they reckon the annual profits for that is going to be about 25 million. Expected yield of about 190%, which obviously is much better than what you're going to get at the bank, which is probably less than 0%. And as we scroll down, we can see all these different yields that you can harvest in different markets, basically by providing liquidity on the different exchanges. And yeah, this site does, I agree, look like it's been made by some sort of like 16-year-old kid or something like that. Amazing graphics and design and layout. Yeah, it does look a little bit embarrassing. Not the sort of thing that you might expect from a real financial services type company. It's all pretty messy and not at all professional, but you know, that's a bit of the charm in all of this crypto stuff anyway, right? So let's just continue. This is DForce, and on here we can see the same sort of thing here. So you want to connect your wallet, and then once you've connected your wallet, then you can just hand over all of your cash into their decentralized platform. Just remember that this is a decentralized financial platform, but you will have to give them your money. Exactly the same here with the farm. You know, connect your wallet. Oh, there we go. That's not working right now. But yeah, you basically click the button when it is working and connect your wallet. This one here, S Finance, exactly the same. Connect your wallet, put in all your Ethereum, you know, whatever it is that you've got that you can give to them, and they will basically use your money by lending it out to the exchanges such as like Binance, OKX, HitBTC, and what those exchanges will do is basically use it as liquidity in the markets to help real traders get in and out of positions. And before we actually get into where the value comes from in providing the liquidity, actually how you're going to make money doing that, let's just finish off looking at a few of the other popular ones, like this one here. This is UN Finance, and you can see the project is in beta. Use at your own risk. And you know, obviously all these are decentralized projects, so if anything goes wrong, there's nobody to actually go to. That's right, there is nobody to blame. If these get hacked, there is zero accountability for the developers, the people behind the projects, and it is the illusion of decentralization. And I say illusion because like this website that you're looking at right here, Yearn Finance, somebody built this website, and this platform is the platform you need to go on to use this system. Unlike something like Bitcoin, where if one Bitcoin node goes down or if the Bitcoin website goes down, you can still run up a wallet and use Bitcoin because there's nodes distributed all over the world, right? But if this Yearn Finance was to go down, whoever it is that pays for the server fees to actually run this website or the app on the phone, you know, if that person stops paying and the server goes offline, how do you actually use this service? This is not actually distributed at all. Same here with Pickle, another distributed service. Obviously, what I'm saying is somebody is actually in charge of this project. Now, they can twist things as much as they like to try and make it look as though nobody is in complete control. But normally what it comes down to is there's a small group of people control, and maybe they got some sort of multi-sig wallet where each of the persons that all work in the same office working on the project all need to agree and actually use their signatures to make changes. But at the end of the day, it's still a single group of people that are actually in charge. So Pickle got really, really popular recently, and lots of people made loads of money staking Ethereum on Pickle. Same deal, you just got to put in your Ethereum and hope for the best. And then we got something like Sushi. Now, I really like Sushi. I've not used it myself. I haven't actually put any money on there. But just as far as the sort of the user experience here on the website, I just think it's very cool the way that they've done this, and you've got the different sort of like Teva Turtle, Circle Snail, Donald Die. You know, they've put some real sort of their own style on the whole thing just to make it a little bit more fun, and a really good layout to the website. Far different from something like we were looking at, like the farm, which is really, really basic, just look like some little kid has made that website. And just as I was saying, somebody owns this website. You know, if this website goes down, the entire app isn't going to work. And I should imagine, I wonder if this Connect wallet is actually working now. So somebody, there you can see there, it's not actually working. Somebody is in control of that code. So right now, maybe you're trying to connect your wallet so you can get your cash out of the system. Unfortunately, you can't, because there's been a change in the code, there's an error in the code, and your cash, if it's in there, is stuck in there until that problem is resolved. And how do you resolve the problem when nobody is in charge? There's no customer support, there's nobody to go to when things go wrong. If they get hacked, what happens? If your money goes missing, who do you turn to? Absolutely nobody, because it is sold as being a decentralized system, even though clearly there are people that are in control. But that shouldn't stop you from enjoying yourself and getting involved and jumping on the bandwagon, just like Justin Sun. So this is the Sun token and the new Sun DeFi system here, where you can provide liquidity for Tron, and on several different exchanges, I should imagine, all using Tron with different coins. Here's another real excellent financial service here from PancakeSwap. It's very, very professional, as you can imagine, for something which I don't know how much money they've actually got staked in here right now. I wonder if it says anywhere. I can't actually see. But, you know, I should imagine it's probably like the others, with hundreds of millions of dollars staked in this platform right now. And, you know, it's very, very, very professional, obviously. So this is PancakeSwap. It is a automated market maker. So that's what all of these DeFi projects actually are. They are automated market makers which provide liquidity to different exchanges. And we're going to go through a slight problem in the code of these automated market makers pretty soon, just to clarify how you make money, and whether you're going to make money or not really comes down to something here that you find on CoinMarketCap, which they call impermanent loss. Impermanent loss is a bit of a weird word, I've got to say, and I did have to look up to see exactly what they mean by that. And what they mean is really unrealized losses. If you're trading on any usual exchange, you'll have your profits and losses, and you've got unrealized profits, which can be negative as well as positive. And what it means is, if you have an open trade, let's say you buy Bitcoin, but the price of Bitcoin goes down, so you've got this unrealized loss at that time, but you only realize the actual loss if you cash out at that point. So if you leave it in and wait for it to go back up, then that unrealized loss becomes a profit if you get out. So an impermanent loss basically becomes permanent if you get out at the point where you're actually in a loss. And the volatility, the chances of becoming a permanent loss on here is very, very high on something like Uniswap. So although they're offering 24% yearly, as it says right there, the chances are, if the value of the coins which you're staking there do go down, then you're going to end up taking a very, very large loss. We got this one here, Curve. Now, I want to go into Curve at the end of the video because there's some important stuff I want to be talking about that one. Sun, we've just been looking at that, just in Sun. You can see, again, impermanent loss, really, really high there. Yearn doesn't have any impermanent loss, and these are on the vaults, so you actually stick your money in the vault. Yearn, it's quite interesting. I'm not sure who's really behind that one, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. I don't really trust it 110%. But what you will notice here is that what they're offering here is a lot less than what you'd be getting with some of these others. So this is Sushi. We got impermanent loss really, really high. they have the illusion that you're going to make a lot more money over here, though 40% gains and all of this compared to 0.09% yearly over here. So you can see that they're suggesting that you're going to make a lot more. However, the chances of making a permanent loss is going to be really, really high. So yeah, interest in there from CoinMarketCap. If you want to find that, all you need to do is go to CoinMarketCap and go to yield farming there on the end. And then also linked below in the description of this video is going to be this excellent little report here that I found. It's just a Medium article by Bancor, and it's the beginner's guide to impermanent loss. So this was the first place I actually looked, trying to find out what this is all about. And this is for automated market makers. So this is DeFi projects, just like what we were looking at over here with Pancake. This is a automated market maker. And as it says here, DeFi's dirty secrets, users who provide liquidity to automated market makers. So this is the reality of how it actually really works. And if we scroll all the way down, just here we got Link. So this is showing how Link actually went up 715% if you were to just hold Link. However, with the automated market maker, so if you're actually going to stake that on some kind of DeFi platform over this same period, you're actually going down 52%. And here is the fundamentals of how these automated market makers work. Basically, you're looking to balance both ends of the trading pair. So you're going to be putting in some ETH and some DAI on both sides. So here we've got 1,000 DAI and then 10 ETH, which also works out to be $1,000. And you want to balance the markets with the liquidity, right? So you're providing liquidity to balance the markets for the exchanges. And what they're doing here is, you can see they've got the LP holdings. So this is you, the liquidity provider, using the sort of yield farming technique. And you're going to be putting in $1,000 of DAI and $1,000 of ETH. So that's $2,000. And this is comparing that versus somebody that's just hodling like 1,000 DAI and $1,000 worth of ETH. Okay, so yield farming versus just being a hodler. And what we've got here then is that the ETH, the value of Ethereum actually would go up by 10%. And then what happens in the market is actual real traders trade on the platform and they eat away your liquidity. So in order to balance what's going on, now these automated market makers, if it's on Binance or whatever, they don't know what's going on other exchanges like maybe Coinbase or whatever. So as a trader, you can look at the whole of the market. You can see that the prices are going up somewhere and that on another exchange, they're still really low. So you can get in on that and actually make some easy money. And that really comes at the expense of a liquidity provider, such as a yield farmer. So as you can see here in the diagram, what you have is this arbitrageur, basically a normal trader that can see the price difference in the markets. He will put in his DAI to buy the Ethereum because the Ethereum is 10% cheaper than what you can get on the other exchanges. And maybe he's going to go and take that straight to the other exchange and sell it for and make that 10% gain, or he's just going to hold it. Who knows? But what happens with the actual automated market maker, this DeFi software, is it needs to balance the books. So in order to do that, although they've taken in this DAI, they need to get rid of some Ethereum. So you've actually got less Ethereum than what you started with. And it basically comes down to this, an impermanent loss here in this case of minus $2. And when you compare that against the hodler that was just holding his dollars and his Bitcoin or Ethereum, he's up, he's up. He's realized the actual gain in the market. Whereas the yield farmer, the person going through a DeFi platform, has lost money. Getting your head around impermanent loss and how that works and how the structure of these market makers work is absolutely essential if you're going to be able to make any money at all yield farming and using DeFi platforms. Over on our Telegram group, I've told a lot of people about this book called Dark Pools, which I've read. I got it there on Amazon. In fact, I didn't read it because I'm too lazy to read, just had it on the audio book instead. And in that book, Dark Pools, it talks about how back in the old days, I think it's in the 80s and 90s, they were building up these speed traders that would basically be looking to provide liquidity into markets. However, you don't want to just provide liquidity at any point, or as you've just seen, you're going to lose money. What you want to do is you want to provide the liquidity as really big orders are coming into the market. So with crypto, I mean, maybe you can't actually do that. But what you could do as a strategy for using yield farming is to just look for when the market is down a lot and it's about to pump up, and then get in at those low points. So for instance, this is comp, and what happened here, obviously they launched, they went all the way down, and then they started to go up. And during this period where they were going up, people were making lots and lots of money. So this is like from about August time all the way to the beginning of September, people were making lots of money, or at least they thought they were making lots of money when they could see the cash going up over on the yield farming site. Unfortunately, as soon as people began to withdraw, those unrealized profits turned into that impermanent loss, which ended up as a permanent loss, and they lost ridiculous amounts of money. Just like this guy here, Voscoin. I don't know if you've seen his video. I'm actually going to leave a link for his video up here somewhere, and this is excellent. He's done about 3 videos in a row over 3 days, and he put in 1 Ethereum into yield farming to try and sort of get to grips with how it all worked. And that 1 Ethereum in 3 days, just 72 hours, ended up losing about 90% of it or something. I mean, it was crazy. You can see here over on his blog there, he began with it as being high risk, high reward, and then he actually cancelled that out and put high risk, no reward. That's the actual truth. He actually took a massive loss in just 72 hours using some DeFi coin on some sort of yield farming thing. Basically made lots of money the first couple of days, and then it just all tanked very, very fast and ended up taking a loss. And that loss really all being down to this thing right here, impermanent loss. And it is for that very reason, the impermanent loss, that many of these platforms like Comp actually give you money. So Uniswap, again, if you stake on Uniswap and you borrow from Uniswap, you can earn Uniswap tokens, and it's the value of those Uniswap tokens which actually compensates for the loss that you're making providing the liquidity. You see, these things, they already know that you're going to lose money providing the liquidity, because traders are a bit smarter than just plain old liquidity providers that provide liquidity at all times. So what they actually do is they will give you some money to try and offset those losses, and that money is really substantial. So right here we can see another very sophisticated website here, a financial platform for Fortune. Yeah, it's complete trash. It looks like it was just thrown together in 5 minutes by somebody wanting to get in and do a cash grab on the market. Come over to farming, you can see Fortube. This is how it works. Basically, you're providing liquidity in these different markets, OKX, HitBTC, Binance, etc. And for that, you get the Force Protocol ecological token called FOR. And right here we can see FOR, and in the beginning, for people that got in early, i.e. the team behind this, which actually created it in the first place. Now, I know it's decentralized, but trust me, there are actual centralized teams behind these projects which make lots of money. And this is how it works. So they get in down here. They've got lots of these coins. They've been staking it for some time. They're making lots and lots and lots of FOR tokens. They start going up like crazy. They then get out of the market and they dump all of their coins on all the people which are still staked in. They staked in a lot later. They haven't actually made the gains yet. And they take those impermanent losses. And it also gets a little bit worse than that. So this is something else that you really need to understand with DeFi and yield farming, is a lot of these projects like this one here, Pulling X. So they're democratizing the trading of real world assets through decentralized liquidity pools, just like what we've just talked about, and also the synthetic asset generation. And you'll see here, this is UMA as well, and this is a protocol for building synthetic assets. What synthetic assets are is basically assets which are not actually real, okay? They're just pretend assets. They are financial derivatives, like you see here. It is a financial derivative. And I spoke about these types of derivatives before. I've done a video on Binance futures where they offer like 125% X, and obviously that doesn't actually really exist. they, when you're putting money into Binance futures, they don't actually have to really provide that Bitcoin because it doesn't exist. It's just a derivative, i.e. you can take this like white box here, and I can tell you that this is worth 10,000 because it derives its value from Bitcoin. So this is actually a Bitcoin derivative. And of course, the actual real value of this is zero. It's worthless. It's just a white box. But because I label it as a derivative and tell you that it's deriving its value from Bitcoin, instantly it's worth 10 grand. And it's complete and utter nonsense. And I've been saying that for quite some time on the Telegram group, here on the YouTube channel. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. These guys here, the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority here in the UK, have now banned the sale of crypto derivatives to retail consumers. And exactly what they mean by that is down here where it says that any derivatives, i.e. contracts for difference, CFDs, options, and futures. And all of this comes into effect down here on the 6th of January 2021. And there are more regulations come into effect around the beginning of January next year, and we'll be going into those maybe in tomorrow's video. But right now, just bear in mind this one actually comes into effect on the 6th of January next year, where they're banning all derivatives, CFDs, options, and futures in the crypto market. And that means websites like this, eToro, will no longer be able to sell crypto derivatives. Now, right here, you're looking at Apple, and Apple is a CFD, contract for difference, which is absolutely fine, by the way. No problem at all with Apple being a derivative or with any sort of stock or commodity or indices. They can all be CFDs, that's fine. What they don't want is crypto derivatives being sold. So it's a really good job that eToro actually now sell actual real Bitcoin, real XRP, real cryptocurrencies. The only downside is that you're not going to be able to short those anymore. So we used to be able to go short on Bitcoin and other things on here on eToro, which we're not going to be able to do. In fact, if I do try doing that right now, let's just take a look at Bitcoin. And, if we try and put on a trade and want to actually sell, so go short, what we can see is that is a CFD trade right there. So that is not going to be allowed from the 6th of January. Neither will the Chicago Mercantile Exchange as well, the CME group. They actually came out with the very first Bitcoin futures, and they're not going to be able to sell to retail customers here in the UK. But I do say only retail customers. Okay, so financial institutions can still trade in Bitcoin futures, just not us retailers. The biggest impact, of course, is going to be stuff like Binance futures, KuCoin futures, OKX, BitMEX, I would say, but they've already been shut down, so they're not really part of it anymore. Bybit as well. If you're invested in Bybit, that's pretty much all nonsense derivatives, so that's all going to be gone too. I'm actually quite glad to see this because I've been saying for quite some time that it's all complete nonsense and it needs to go. I've done a video on it, as maybe I mentioned earlier. So I'm very happy. I think it's a good thing. It also stops people from trading in those derivative markets, which means that if you do want to trade crypto, rather than trading nonsense, completely useless, valueless crypto derivatives, you actually get to put that money to work in the real crypto markets, which will boost the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of that. So I think it's going to be good for the market. And here is another thing which I also think will be good for the market, and that is this news which came out where Europe's new crypto regulations pose existential questions for DeFi. Okay, basically what this comes down to is there's a problem with DeFi being decentralized. Crypto asset issuers must be incorporated as legal entities in order to operate their crypto services. Which what they're saying is somebody actually has to take responsibility. You cannot just create a website, deny that you actually own the website and that you have control over it, call it decentralized, offer financial services and think that you can sort of sidestep the regulations and the anti-money laundering and all that type of stuff. They're saying that you have to actually be registered as a business in order to operate those type of business services. which is kind of like common sense in my opinion. And I think it's going to stop a lot of the fraud, a lot of the dodgy stuff, which has been going on for sure, a lot of the sort of illegal side of it. But I don't think it's going to really stop innovation that much, just purely because it doesn't cost an awful lot to get incorporated. And as a developer or a business owner operating in this space, as a legal entity like a limited liability company, you've got your liability limited, i.e. that, you know, if you're going to get sued, the amount of that you're liable for is limited. It just makes sense that it's not really going to make much of a difference for the people that are the innovators, but it certainly should cut down on the scams. And I know this video is getting pretty long right now, so I'm actually going to be talking more in tomorrow's video about more regulations which are going to be coming out in 2017. 2017, what am I talking about? 2021, and also talking about an opportunity like a DeFi type project, but it's not actually DeFi, but offers the same type of returns. And now it's not DeFi, but then none of these DeFi projects actually are DeFi either, if we're all completely honest. That will be coming in tomorrow's video, and I shall see you then.